If you're in the military, you've probably been faced with this question. Should I buy a home or should I stay and rent or move into military housing? Buying a home or renting or staying on base housing is probably one of the biggest decisions active duty military are going to be facing in 2025. I know this because I've helped thousands of service members make this decision in my over 30 years in being a mortgage lender. And there's a lot of noise out there, especially those that are saying, don't ever buy. You're only going to be there 3 years. You're going to lose money. Well, I can tell you for a fact that is absolutely not true. I'm not saying this as a blanket statement that you should just gung-ho go in and buy a house no matter what duty station you're in. You want to take a look at the detailed markets, and we're going to break that down in a second. The idea is that you want to make the best decisions in using your VA benefits because it is truly a benefit. And for those of you who don't know me, my name is Rick Elmendorf. I'm a mortgage loan officer, and I've been specializing in VA loans for almost 30 years. My team and I have been in the top 1% of mortgage lenders nationwide. Let's get started. There's a saying that says the best time to buy was 5 years ago. And in this market, that is so true. I mean, just look back. We're in 2025. If you had bought a house in 2020 at your last duty station, you would be singing all the way to glory. I mean, you'd be loving life. But the important thing is, it's all about looking at the numbers. I mean, nobody can project, nobody can pull out a crystal ball and say, in 3 years, this is going to happen. All I can look at is historical analysis, historical and projected appreciation, and then really just let the numbers speak for themselves. Historically speaking, and it's been my experience that it is a good time to buy because of your VA benefits. So let's go ahead and get into it. First of all, let's go ahead and look at the big picture. Why does this decision even matter? Owning a house isn't just about having a place to live. It's about building wealth over time. I've helped many a young military personnel build wealth with their VA loan, knowing, and they didn't know, you can use it time and time again. And what is the neatest thing is that you're making a zero investment in the house from a money standpoint. Because your VA loan allows for no money down, your rate of return is basically infinite, especially if you get the seller to pay your closing costs. Now that can't happen every time, but it does happen. And I will tell you that is the best case scenario. Imagine earning $20, $30, $40, $50,000 in equity and you put up zero money. That's pretty good. Renting, on the other hand, can feel like a safe option. Living on military base can feel like a safe option, but it's also a 100% giveaway of your money. If you're renting, you're simply just paying your landlord's mortgage. You're earning no equity for yourself. You're not gaining any appreciation in the market. The only thing you're protecting yourself against is if home prices decline and you were to get stuck with a house. That is, obviously it's a big thing, but as we go forward here, I've got models that run these numbers that literally just tell you what the math is. And that's a very low percentage play that happens. Also, the question isn't just, should I buy? It's, what's the long-term impact of my decision? That's a big question. What am I giving up? Or what could I possibly be gaining if I do buy now? You see, your VA loan gives you an edge that most buyers don't have. No down payment, no PMI, much lower interest rates, flexible credit requirements. Considering all that, it doesn't mean that buying is always the right move. So let's get into it. One of the main exercises we go through is looking at the numbers. Does buying make sense for you in this area, what your financial situation is, all those things. And a lot of people assume renting is cheaper, but let's do the math. Let's look at mortgage versus rent. A $2,500 mortgage is not the same as a $2,500 rent payment. With a mortgage, you're paying down principal, building equity, and getting certain tax benefits. I mean, think about this. As you pay down your mortgage, a little bit of that is going directly to principal. That reduces the amount owed. As time goes by, you have what's called appreciation. And let's talk about appreciation a little bit. On average, home values go up anywhere from 3 to 5% per year. Let's just say you buy a $400,000 house in today's market. In 5 years, if you look at that 3 to 5% per year appreciation, that's potentially a $100,000 in equity appreciation. Just think about the math. Just do simple math for right now. 5% a year, that's potentially $100,000 in just pure equity. The other thing I want to look at is the cost of waiting. If rates drop, competition increases, and then home prices go up. So if you rent for a year and then you wait, well, let's say I'm right and interest rates are dropping and we have a different interest rate environment and home prices are obviously higher. So not only do you have the 5% appreciation that you just missed, so that $400,000 house is now $420,000, you've also got increased and heightened competition, which is going to drive the price up. If you're buying in competitive markets, you're going to face not just the list price, you're going to face what's called an escalation. That means that you will be paying to win the house, you will have to pay more than the list price. This is a bad thing if you're trying to compete and trying to win a house. But here's a key takeaway. If you're planning on staying in one place 3 to 5 years, depending upon what the military has you doing, buying is usually the better financial move. And before we move on, if you're like, how in the world do I know my numbers? How do I even figure this out, like renting versus buying? Don't worry about it. You can just send me an email. I'll put the link to my email in the description here, or I've got a lot of good information on my website at loanwithrick.com, and I'd be happy to walk you through what we have is a rent versus own scenario or calculator, and we just put all the data in. We go, what's your duty station? What's your BAH? What are all the factors? And we just kind of throw the numbers out there. And sometimes the numbers say, hey, don't buy because this area is not appreciating very well. And some, or maybe the interest rates have gone up. So a lot of things are to be considered there. But I'd be happy to do that for you. Just go ahead and take some action and send me a note and I'll be happy to get with you. With all that said, let's look at when renting might be the better move. I'm a mortgage guy, but I'll be the first to say that buying isn't always the right choice. Let's just say you have more of a shorter term living plans in an area. If you're planning to move in 1 to 2 years, renting might be smarter. What if you've been at your duty station for already a year and maybe 2 years, and you're going to be shoveling off in another year? Maybe renting is better for you. Another consideration is this market overheated? In some high cost markets, rent is significantly lower than a mortgage. So we have to look at the numbers to look at all of those things. The key is knowing your numbers and making an informed decision. Don't leave it to guesswork. I would love to help you. If you have any questions, I read my comments, I respond to them. If you have any questions about renting, owning, staying on base, what does it look like? I can run the numbers for you. It's not that difficult. So please reach out. Would love to help you. You can send me an email and you can just check everything out there. And of course, I'm standing by to help you and I would love to. This is Rick and I'll see you in the next video.